here, and I'm from Temple of Balance, and I'm here to host our personal healing event for July. That's for some of my patrons. So I want to welcome you, and I want to welcome all of our patrons for July. Thank you so much for your support. I see Robin's here. Welcome, Robin, and I look forward to connecting with you. I've got you and some other people here in my little frog pot. So I've got 6 people on the healing list today. So to get onto the healing list, that is a level of my patron. What do you call it? Like on Patreon, we have different levels of support or resources that you sort of pledge a certain amount to, and you get access to that resource. And in the case with my Patreon, it's that resource and everything that's below it. So at this level, we're looking at the $50, $50 patron support. So thank you for your support. And I have 6 people on the list today. So I've got you all here in my little frog pot, and I'm going to pluck your name out shortly and get started. Before I do, I want to just explain a little bit about what I'll be doing today. So everybody on my list, so the 6 people, will receive approximately 10 minutes of connection. So that means I'll be tuning in personally to you, and then whatever's loudest in your energy gets my attention first, and then I work out and interpret that energy and what I'm picking up, and then share that with you. So I'll be doing that for about 10 minutes. I'm going to work in conjunction with my healing energy cards. So we've got deck 1 here and deck 2 combined. So I'll be starting and finishing every connection with a healing energy card. It's kind of the way that I start, and it's the way that I close off each connection. So sometimes I'll look further into the cards than other times, and that's just the way it is. So I just trust in my intuition with it. Now, the way that I connect is, I guess, just the way that works for me. So the way I work is, the way I pick up the energy, especially distantly like this, is that I think of the person or I state their name, and then I start feeling things happening in my body that I don't usually feel. So what I mean by that is I know the configuration of my energy. I know what it feels like to be in my skin right now. So I have certain awareness of my body. And when I start tuning into people, I start feeling new things in my body that I don't usually feel. So then I need to work out what that means. So over the last 20 years almost of doing Temple of Balance and doing work with people online like this, and also for a few years before that, I have developed a way of refining and understanding that connection deeply for me. So it's practice now over this. I still can't believe Temple of Balance is nearly 20. That's just amazing. So I started doing this stuff almost 20 years ago. So I guess that makes me reasonably experienced in connecting in this way. So then I just have to trust my intuition, trust what I'm interpreting, trust in the visions that I'm also getting with those sensations in my body. I actually also just imagine that I'm you, because that helps me to be able to connect. So it works for me, and then I cut the ties. I don't carry other people's things with me. So that's just the way it is. So I have strong boundaries with the energy. So I think that's all I need to say. I'm very eager to dive straight in. So welcome. If you're waiting for your connection, I'm sure there'll be something in someone else's connection that'll speak with you. And if you're not on my list today, I trust that you receive something that's helpful for you. And as I am connecting with you, when it is your turn, please be open to receiving what you need. So the first person on my list today is Carol White. Hi, Divinely Guided. Welcome. So Carol White, you're first. So take a nice big breath for me. And it's no accident that other people are here connecting. I've been doing this, and I've been doing on internet radio before I did this for quite a few years, and I'd always get messages from people saying that that connection that I made with Carol or whoever really spoke to me. So don't think that you don't need to be here. If you're here, I'm sure you're here for a reason, and that there's something that's probably going to be helpful for you in someone else's guidance and connection. So Carol White, nice big breath please, and we'll go and start with this particular card. It's Healing Energy Cards, deck 2, and it says large and looming. So this is a card that suggests that something feels larger and bigger than what it really is. It's a bit like fear. Fear can do that. When we feel fear, fear can make it seem like something's huge and drastic and dramatic, when actually when we stop and think about it, it may not be that big and that's scary. So this large and looming energy is hanging around. Overwhelm does the same thing. Overwhelm can feel a lot bigger and louder and scarier than what it actually is. So there's an intensity to this card. It's showing that something's loud. And whenever something loud, it's trying to get our attention. So what's trying to get your attention at this time, Carol? Okay, as I tune into your body, I'm being drawn to your lower back. So your lower back is the back of your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra is down here just below your navel. It's your emotional center, and the zone of your sacral chakra goes around your body, around to your lower back. So the lower back element of your sacral chakra tends to connect with the past and old emotions from the past that you're carrying onto. And what I feel like, there's a heaviness back here, almost like half a sandbag that's sort of hanging out and really heavy out from your lower back. So you probably feel quite heavy in there. And as I talk more about it and tune further into it, it feels heavier and heavier, like it's just growing in heaviness. It feels like the sand that's in this sandbag feels heavy. It feels waterlogged as well, so that does show that emotional element in there, and some burden energy that feels really heavy. So it feels like the bag is kind of half in, half out, and is hanging back. And so as it's hanging back, it's like pulling the whole back of your body down. And I also feel like as I tune in, my body wants to sort of sit back, and I feel this heaviness just dropping down, this pressure on the lower back. So I'm also now being drawn to your hips, and your hips feel a little stuck or stiff. Maybe we could say a little seized up, but definitely stiff. And there's something in you that wants to move, something in your soul and your body that wants you to step out and step further into a direction, a path for you that's more aligned with your heart and more aligned with your home and your heart, is the feeling here. So this is linked in with this sandbag energy. This is probably pressure that you feel that you're under. And it's probably a pressure that you put on yourself because it's old, because it's in your back, because it's at the back of your body. It feels old. So this is not anything new, which makes me feel like it doesn't matter the situation or the people. It's more like, what's the common thread here? And the common thread is you. So it's most likely a pressure you're putting on yourself to maybe succeed, to be of a certain standard, to have certain professionalism or perfectionism. And none of those things are particularly necessarily bad, but perhaps when it's in extreme, or maybe you're done with the pressure that you've been putting on yourself for perhaps your whole life or for many, many years. So it just feels like it's taking its toll in some ways, that almost like actually another vision here is you're feeling trapped by it. Like there's a trapped feeling, like you're ready to try something else. You're ready to get out of the cage or out of the jail cell of what you now feel trapped by, but has served you well in your life moving to this point. But there's something now that's limiting and restricting about this, is the feeling. So as I'm talking about this trapped feeling, limited or restricted, the sandbag energy, it feels now like a bag of sugar, like one of those old sort of fashioned bags of sugar, not the paper ones, but the sort of cloth or whatever they used to make the old sugar bags out of. So it feels smaller now, and it feels more like sugar. It feels like something sweet that you're releasing. So what does that mean? Something sweet. What is that? It feels like sweet. It doesn't feel sandy. It doesn't feel waterlogged like it did before. So something sweet about your life to release, that's connected with this restriction or this feeling trapped energy. So talking about that has actually shifted this energy at the back, at your lower back. and I feel it's starting to move. It's starting to dislodge here. It's starting to move away, and it's weird, but I get the visual of like a chicken preparing to lay an egg. So like the pressure, and then out pops an egg. So it feels like this just wants to pop out like an egg popping out of a chicken. And as I'm saying that, I do feel it drop back, like the weight of it just drops out and it drops down to the ground. And you've just given birth to a bag of sugar out from your lower back. So now that that's released, there is this sense of relief because the pressure and the pull, the weight and the heaviness of this energetically has been released. So there's like this relief feeling. Looking down at this bag of sugar, it's broken open, and the sugar actually looks very old. So it looks like very old sugar, and it could be something to do with the enticement of why you started, and the pressure that you put on yourself from the very start, maybe for high standards, maybe to achieve what you've had to or been able to achieve, maybe to cut through in a world that people like you aren't usually in, that kind of thing. So it's burst open, it's old, and the fumes, sort of the scent of the sugar sweeps up. And now it's this sort of like smelling and enjoying this sweetness of your life that you've created. But it seems like minus the pressure and minus the restrictions that you've been putting on yourself. So maybe there's a way that you can back off a little bit on that and not put so much pressure on yourself like say you used to 10 or 20 or 30 years ago. So that's what I'm feeling here, Carol. Let's grab a card to add and to finish off this connection. And your hips are actually feeling more, what's the word here? I want to use, that they just feel like they're moving more. They don't feel so seized up. They feel like there's movement here in your hips again. Your heart feels open. Your head feels clear, like your heart is opened and it's cleared up through your head as well. So just adding a card here to finish, and we've got this from deck 2, and it's the Turning Point, card 76. It says a new direction. Well, there you go. The time has come. Out of your comfort zone, turn things around, make changes, contemplate your current direction, and crossroads. So this is a turning point time for you, I feel, where things are changing and things are different and becoming different than they used to be, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So stopping and smelling the roses and be grateful, but feeling that gratitude of the sweetness of what you have created, and now thinking about what you want next for the next chapter of your life. So thank you so much, Carol. I trust this resonates and supports you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Okay, we'll put Carol aside and let's see who's next. Next person is this person here. And it is KantiDevi. Kanti, take a nice big breath and let's see what's going on in your energy today and which card you need to begin with. So the best card to start this connection, Kanti, is this from the second deck again. And we have the Tree of Life. This feels like a balance. It feels like a growth. It feels like this growth and this connection on the vertical. So connecting with spirit, connecting to earth via the body. So this vertical alignment of connection here with this Tree of Life. It says life calls you. See the beauty all around. Cycles, be patient, and there are lessons to learn. So it feels like a growth, like your roots are strong, your branches are strong, and there's this calling for stretching above, stretching below. And it's such an interesting feeling to have, and I've had it quite a few times at different phases in my life where I just feel I want to connect, and I just feel like almost like I'm a tree and I just want to grow my branches up, like extend myself up and extend myself down into the earth like tree roots. And this sort of pull on the vertical to really grow in both directions is really powerful. And so what it symbolizes is this strength of connection and this growth in connection of above and below, connecting spirit with matter. So above and below. So this is what I'm feeling really strongly. And it feels like it's pulling through your body here, Kanti, especially through your torso. So from your throat chakra down to your sacral chakra especially is really stretching up. It feels like a stretch, like stretching a pair of stockings kind of feeling here. So you've really been stretched up. You may even been tested in regards to your connections, your spirituality, how you connect and embody this energy in your actual body. And also you may be being tested in the physical, because it just really feels like it's been stretched, like you've really been stretched to, you know, like stretching a rubber band to that point just before it breaks. So you can really stretch and get the most out of this rubber band, but you don't want it to snap or break. And I feel like this is what's happening here, like this, how far can I stretch this? How far can I stretch myself? How far can I really take my connections to spirit, and how far can I take my connections into the earth and into my body? So there's this thirst and this quest for this. How far can I stretch myself? So as you're stretching, it's going to help create a new, what would you call it? Like a new base level, or a new base rate, a new base level of connection for you. And I feel like you've been challenged in some ways too, to make some really clear connections to spirit. And I feel like the connections that are being made are going to be made through your body. So it's like the access point to your heightened and growing spiritual connections is always accessed by your body. So it's not something necessarily that's out there in the stars, for example, even though you can access the stars through the body. So what does that mean? It kind of feels like there's, like your body is a portal that takes you there. So instead of going there visually, it's like going there through your body. So through your heart, through what you're feeling in your body, and accessing those higher frequencies through your physicality. Again, how does that, it just kind of feels a bit difficult to explain in words, but the heart, your body, is your access point. So to go into your heart, to go into yourself, into your body, will take you into your connections further with spirit that you're wanting to stretch and grow. Going into your body to go down and connect with the earth and connecting with the deep parts of you, that's how you'll stretch yourself on that vertical. So to go from a place outside of you, so through something external, something perhaps that you're seeing, for example, might not quite take you as far on that stretched out energy of above and below as what you could access by accessing it through your body. So it's an internal place of access. You go in, you connect. You go in, you connect. So this feels really powerful, and it's probably connected directly in with your heart, but it's especially your body itself. Your body is your portal that brings you in and brings you up and brings you down. So this will help really grounds your connections in a really practical, real, embodied way in your body. I feel like your feet are like your toes are extending like tree roots and then going down into the ground, down into the earth. Your fingers, so if you were stretching up with your body and with your arms, your fingers they extend and become like branches. So this is like a great image that I could really draw, because I'm feeling this really quite visually. So your toes becoming the roots, your fingers becoming the branches, and just really stretching and growing. So it's just looking at different angles and different aspects of this stretching energy, which is very strong. So, and that's, yeah, it's just the stretching on the vertical. Let's grab a card and see what that wants to add here for you, Kanti. And it feels so stretching. You know what it feels like when we have a nice big stretch, when our body's stiff? So it's just stretching, stretching, stretching. And this is a phase. It's not always going to be this way. So it's a phase for you, Kanti, as you strengthen and stretch out and stretch through your connections on the vertical. And then you'll use this in your physical life as this phase passes. So the best card to add here now is from the first deck, and it's Mental Freedom, card 27. It says, let your worries and negative thoughts go. Don't allow them to take away your power. Get back in charge of your thoughts and determination. So I'm very much drawn to the vertical element of this sword. So this figure this represents you holding the blade of the sword right there at the solar plexus, holding and really anchored in your power. The blade point goes right up here to the third eye chakra, really emphasizing the connection here between the solar plexus. So you really embodying your power in your body and trusting in it through the delicacy and the access point of your third eye chakra. So this is you trusting your power as you connect, especially on this vertical level. It's also feels like it's symbolizing truth, like this stretching that I'm talking about, this connection on the vertical, this embodying and going up, coming into the body to do that in an internal way. It feels actually like you're connecting with truth, like spiritual truths or truths that are really important to you. And you'll be able to use that to help other people and to help also especially help support you moving forward. But I feel like being able to help other people by accessing this higher energy in this really embodied and physical way, really grounded way. So thanks, Kanti. I trust this resonates and supports you, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Namaste. Okay, let's see who's next. We've got 4 more people on the healing list today. If you'd like to be on the healing list for next month, you need to become a patron. So Patron, you can find more about it in the video description. And at the $50 level or higher, you'll automatically get access to this resource. So if you want to be a part of that, please have a look on my website or on Patreon, the link's below. And Robin, you're next. Robin Hippler. Take a nice big breath, Robin. It's so great to connect with you again. Let's see what comes up for you. So nice big breath. And we'll go with this card. So before I show this card, I'm feeling a little bit of a shakiness in the body. It feels a little shaky or a little trembly in your body is what I'm connecting with to begin with. So we'll look at this card and then we'll look further into that. This is card 79 called Reset. This says that it's a chance to start over, that an opportunity exists now. The unknown, the void, a fresh start. Potential, the blank canvas, anything is possible, and being proactive. So this is suggesting that there's an energy of reset around you at the moment, Robin. Now, as I connect with this shakiness and this card, I'm getting a lot of energy moving here in your throat. So I feel like there's, it feels like something, it feels like you're seeking clarity, like you want clarity. Maybe this could even be things to be clear or things to be cleared. But it's like there's a bunch of meteorites or something in the way. Like there's rubble, so it's a bit like, I guess, if we had a stream of water and you just wanted to have a nice drink of clean water and it was just a small stream, but there'd recently been a rain and the water was all contaminated with bits of gravel and bits of mud and rock and leaf and all sorts of litter. So you couldn't have a drink of clear water because it's got rubble kind of energy in it. So it feels like there's something that you're wanting that's connected with clarity in some way, something clear. But it's like when going to drink from this, it needs to be filtered out first or something like this. It just needs to be, there's stuff in the way that needs to be cleared. So I'm seeing it like from this water energy sort of side. And also if you were, say, flying in the air, and also flying in a rocket and you were wanting to go to a destination, let's say the moon, just a bit out there, but just as another angle to look at what I'm feeling, and you were trying to get to your target, you want the air to be clear so you don't crash into anything, but then all these meteors start showering down in your path and you're trying to dodge the meteors. So it's this sort of energy. There's something coming forward that feels like it's in the way of your clarity or in the way of things being clear for you. So it feels like rubble. That's kind of the best way to describe this energy, but just showing from those two sort of angles. So hopefully that portrays what I'm trying to say and what I'm feeling here. So there's rubble in the way of the clarity that you're seeking or the clarity that you want. And the rubble feels like it's directly connected with this sort of trembly, shaky energy that I'm feeling in your body. And also directly connected with this energy that's very heavy and very tickly here in your throat. And it feels actually a bit hard to breathe here too. Like it feels a bit smoky here at your throat. And I feel like my breathing has now become very shallow. So it's like just breathing here in the throat instead of breathing in from the lungs. It feels like very shallow breathing. So I feel like we need to get the rubble out of the way because it feels disruptive and it feels like it's knocking things out of balance, out of whack. And the thing about this rubble energy that I'm feeling is it feels like it's been going on for a little while. So it feels shaky. It's like you're standing in the middle of a court and someone's just throwing balls at you and you're trying to dodge these balls. So it sort of feels a bit like that. We could look at that as another angle of looking at this. So it could be things too about life that have just been sort of seem to be coming at you and you're not really getting a break and you're not really getting a chance to even think or have some clarity or a bit of just breathing space to kind of catch your breath. It feels very busy. So what I feel like I need to do is I imagine you in the middle of this court and all these tennis balls are being thrown at you. I can't see anyone throwing them, but they're just all coming at you. Some are coming at your head and you're just trying to dodge and just trying to stay upright. So what I feel I need to do with you is actually just take you down to the ground and have you just sit and not stand and get into that sort of, I don't know, frantic energy might be a bit of an extreme word to use, but just to sort of settle things down a bit. So as you settle and as you sit and as you just take some deep breaths, I already feel that the balls have stopped coming at you. So the rubble is already starting to quieten as you just stop and take a few deep breaths and just take a moment to yourself and just allow all the stuff, the outside stuff that's been coming at you that you feel is bombarding you, to just allow that to be outside of this room right now and don't allow it in to you, because I feel like you need a break from this. So as you stop and you breathe and all the stuff that's coming at you from outside, from external places and external forces, stays outside. So if you were in a gymnasium, and all those balls were coming at you and you're sitting now, you're not giving fuel to the balls to come and try and hit you. They're now outside of this gym, they're outside of this court, and you now have this whole space to yourself. And I feel like this is really something to cherish. And I feel already that the shakiness in your body already feels like it's settling. Your throat energy, there's still more here that I'd like to look at. In fact, I can feel almost like something's lodged here, like you've almost inhaled a tennis ball or something and it's sitting here at your throat and you can't breathe down past that. So I imagine actually reaching into your mouth, down your throat and pulling this out, and it's just like this big, it's almost like a fur ball actually. It's like a fur ball and it's very wet. So it tells me actually there's a lot of emotion that's actually been lodged in here, that you've probably had a bit of a lump in your throat emotionally. And the fur ball kind of energy, it's, you know, like the cats get the fur ball because they're licking and cleaning themselves, and then it all sort of collects there and then they cough it up. So there is this sense of trying to get things on track, trying to help yourself, and it's just kind of lodged here and perhaps even backfired in some ways. So with this now, dropping it down to the ground is very wet. So there's a lot of emotion that's stored in that. And letting that go, and it already feels clearer here in your throat, and you can probably feel now, yes, take a nice big breath right down into your lungs, even right down into your diaphragm, and start taking some really nice big breaths again, and find this place of center where you're keeping all of those external things that you've been worried about outside of you. So this is a strong boundary around you, like you're in your own room or you're in your own force field and these energies are not coming in and disrupting you. So I feel like a lot of external energy, a lot of things perhaps on your mind that you've been worried about, obstacles perhaps that have been happening in your life have really taken their toll, and that your boundaries are going to be really important, your protective shield to keep these out and to keep you in that calm, clear space, the cleared space that I talked about at the very beginning. So the rubble is out. I feel this room around you like a protective field to help keep that energy out. Your energy feels calm. You're breathing again, and like breathing deeply again. The shaky, trembly energy has passed. We've cleared that energy in your throat. Is there anything else that we need to do at this point? Is what I'm asking the energy. So what I would do is I would keep, if this resonates with you, Robin, I'd keep enforcing your boundaries and your protection shield. So with protective energy, I like to imagine that I'm in like an eggshell, and it's got two purposes, this protective shield. So an eggshell, or some people imagine like a force field of light, or something else, maybe their spirit guides or loved ones standing around them on guard. However you want to visualize it, it's the same sort of thing. So it has two sort of purposes. Most people think it's only to keep negative energy out, but I also feel it's also to help keep the space inside of that zone nice and clear and nice and balanced as possible. So think of this space as like your protective space. We could say safe space, or also to help keep the negativity, the external forces that you've been affected by out. So it's like creating a boundary here feels very important. Let's see which card we need to add here to finish this up for you, Robin. And the best card is, let's go with this. Here from the second deck. Oh, it's card 78, reality. So this is interesting. It says processing what happened, the past, an emergency, urgent, sudden, chaos, difficulty, painful, a one-off event, change, and looking for the good in the bad. So this probably represents in some ways the rubble. It probably also represents that sort of wet, soggy sort of fur ball also, but also the energy that's connected there. So this brings like a darkness and a shadow, and almost like an urgent energy, or even some trauma or something from the past that has been affecting you, and it's been very difficult to see clearly past that. So hopefully by creating a distance between that energy, creating that boundary sort of energy up, clearing that and bringing you back into a more of a cleared zone within yourself, can help you also move through this. So moving forward based on this card, so it says look for the good in the bad. So this could also be things like, now we're in this sort of reset space. It might be a good time for you, Robin, to practice your gratitude. Look at the things that are working, the things that you're grateful for, and start shifting your mindset to support your healing and the clarity, because the clarity and the clear energy feels very important here in this case. So getting clear, feeling clear, and instead of feeling like the rubble is like you have your own private earthquake kind of going on with rubble and trembles. So finding your way through that, through your gratitude, through keep reinforcing your protection shield, keep taking your deep breaths, and being really patient with yourself as well. So I trust that makes sense. That's interesting. You got cards 78 and 79. Okay. Thanks, Robin. Thanks for your support. And I do trust this has been helpful in some way. Thank you so much. Okay, Robin, we'll put you to the side. Let's see who's next. Next person is this person. I think it's one. It is Susan Sonsteng. Susan, take a nice big breath and let's see what comes up for you today. So the best card to start this connection is this. It's from the first deck. And it's this. Oh, hi, Susan, and thank you. Yeah, thanks, Robin. Okay, Susan, you've got male support coming in, and it's card 14. So this is a protective, strong, nurturing support. Looking ahead, the true masculine, you in your true power, but there doesn't feel to be like a domination sort of feeling, like it just feels very natural. So this male support energy. All right, Susan, let's tune in and see what's going on with your energy today. You've got a nice big beam of energy coming down from the universe, and it feels like a soft golden light. It's quite wide, so it's probably about the width of your shoulders, and it's coming down over, especially over your head and over your shoulders, and it almost feels like it's entering through here. So sometimes, often things enter through the crown. This feels like it's entering sort of down over your head, and it's entering down through your shoulders into your body, and it's coming straight into your heart is the feeling. So this strong, well, it's strong, but it's also soft. Soft as in color and soft as in feel, this soft golden light. So it's coming straight in, strongly into your heart. It's strong, I think, because of the width and of the movement of it, but it's soft in regards to its tone and its color and its feeling. So it comes and sits in here in your heart, and your heart feels like this big pool, but like a natural pool, so like a spring or something like this. But it feels like maybe the spring, maybe the pool in your heart feels perhaps half full of the spring water, and this energy is just coming in, and it's actually pushing the water element out, and it's filling up the pool of your heart with this soft golden light. And it feels quite large. It feels like maybe like double the size of like a double size bed. So like a double bed times 2. That's about the feeling. So like perhaps a large vehicle. That's the feeling of the size of this as it's coming in. So it's coming in, this soft golden light, and it's filling up your heart. Now it feels wide and it feels a little shallow. This pool, or a pond. We could even say it's a pond actually, rather than a pool, but it's a pool of water. So it feels wide, it feels shallow, so it only feels like it's taking up this part. It's just shallow water that's really stretching out. So it's really stretching out on the horizontal in all directions around. So your heart's really expanded through across that plane, across the horizontal plane. So the horizontal plane tends to be more about your physical life, so your journey, your direction, your path, you're moving forward. It tends to be more connected with past, present, future, so like the timeline, that kind of thing. So this is really stretching out, and as your heart stretches out with this energy, it's also stretching you through your shoulders and throughout your whole chest, also the back area of your heart as well, in between your shoulder blades, or a little bit higher in your upper back. So this is all stretching out. It feels like it's creating a fertility in your heart, because there's this, the ground feels like it's really soaking up this energy, like it's fertile, like fertile ground. So raw creativity, or creativity itself, a fertility of starting something new, of creating something new, or creating an environment where you can bring something new into form, if you like. Now, as I say this, I'm seeing all these plants growing up from underneath. They look like lotus to me. Right in the middle of this pool or this pond is a group. It feels like about 6 white lotus flowers, and they just grow up in high speed, so fast. They grow up out of the middle of this pond, in the middle of your heart, these beautiful lotus flowers, so white, and they all just grow up together in synchronicity, as a team, as a unit, growing up here. So as they grow up, their roots, which feels like just a few kind of like maybe finger width roots, maybe 3 or 4 from each plant. I don't know how the lotus roots actually grow, but it just feels like some long, strong strands, very few, that just embody now down further into your body, so into your solar plexus, down into your sacral chakra, and all the way down to your tailbone at your base chakra as well. So really grounding you and rooting you into your body. And then the lotus element grows up. So this is growing up through the throat, through your third eye, and up where the lotus blooms here, basically where your crown is. All these 6 kind of lotuses, white. So they open up here. There's this opening feeling tingling through your crown as this all opens up. And there's a peaceful feeling, a purity feeling here in your crown. So as these push up and open, they're also expanding your crown as well. So that's helping you really strengthen your connections to spirit, your connections to yourself, your relationships, and your life itself. So this feels really beautiful and so nourishing. So the golden light that was coming down and filling this pond or pool has backed off now. So that's sort of backed off, faded away, stopped doing that while the lotuses have been growing. It's a beautiful picture. Actually, I'm seeing a lot of visuals that I could really paint or draw. So it feels really quite beautiful. A great sense of groundedness and connection and expansion through the hearts. A great sense of receiving too, this golden energy, which feels like receiving opportunities, abundance, that kind of thing. But this fertility, like this feels like it permeates just quietly through everything. So the fertilities, you know, what will I create? What will I do here? What new beginnings or maintaining things that you've already started growing. So this feels like it sort of sits just silently and quietly underneath everything, which feels very exciting. So it feels very grounding and very beautiful, Susan. I really love sitting in this energy. Let's grab a card and see what that wants to add here as we finish up. And what I would be doing, in fact, what I feel like I'd love to do is just sort of bask in this. So it might be something for you, if you resonate with this, Susan, is to just sort of sit in it and see where this visual wants to go. You might find it helpful maybe to go on a bit of a meditation and see what evolves from this vision and let it evolve in a personal way for you. So the best card to add here is this. It's from the deck too, and it is Reset. So that's interesting. This probably links up yours with Robin's too in some way. But card 79, Reset. So again, I'll read. A chance to start over. An opportunity exists now. The unknown, the void, fresh start, potential, the blank canvas. Anything is possible, and be proactive. There's an egg right here in the middle of this mandala. So this is something creative. This is a new beginning that wants to emerge. This little flower in here looks or reminds me a bit. Actually, there's a flower within a flower within a flower. It reminds me of the lotus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really. Yeah. So very interesting. If you've got the deck, Susan, you may even want to keep this card close by. It feels like there's something quite exciting about that card for you moving forward. Thank you so much, Susan. Thanks for your support, and it's always my honour to connect with you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Okay, let's go to who's next. Thank you, Susan. Yep, we've got 2 people left. So the second last person is Nicki Mohler. Nicki, whew, starting to get very hot. There's a strong grounded energy that's coming in, a very strong physical energy. Grounded energy tends to bring quite hot energy when you're connecting. So when you get colder, it can tend to be the higher frequencies. So there's a very hot energy coming in. So there's a groundedness that I'm already feeling. We'll start with the card though. So your best card, Nicki, is from the second deck. And it's Remove the Mask, card 99. It says, reveal the truth, uncovered, stop masking, real, don't pretend or distract yourself, be honest, deep healing, true power emerging, and show yourself. There is this sort of feeling here with this card, and what I'm feeling with your energy, Nicki, of a bit of a fear or a hesitation to reveal yourself, you know, really truly reveal yourself. This could be revealing yourself to you. Could also be, well, how can we reveal ourselves to others if we haven't revealed ourselves to ourselves first? And sometimes these happen sort of simultaneously, but there's this sort of revealing of something deep, and something that's been perhaps covered, or something that's been contained or kept away in a little compartment inside you, a little vulnerability which is probably a big vulnerability, but you know, something small about a small part of yourself, a small vulnerable part that you've locked away. And I want to sort of, I imagine like it's like a little jewelry box or something, or just a little precious box that you've tucked away just here to the right of your heart. Feels like it just sits here to the right of your heart, just almost to just over your right breast, inside actually. So there's a nurturing feeling, there's a motherly feeling here as well. And it feels like you've tucked this away. You've tucked it away because perhaps it was too painful to deal with at the time. So there's a bit of a phase perhaps, or a time period, a chapter maybe that you're going through, or that you've perhaps started, that is going to be revealing and uncovering and potentially opening this box. And you can probably feel the anticipation of that, maybe resistance or a fear, as you prepare to go deeper and closer towards this, that there is something that is hard to explain, that you perhaps feel a bit resistant or scared to pursue or go past a certain level because of consciously or unconsciously what it's going to reveal. So there is something that wants to reveal. There's energy moving now in your throat, and this is telling me that this energy wants to come up and out. It wants to come up and out as something that you probably say or express, something that you speak that contains whatever this is that you've tucked away in this little compartment in your heart. And this is it revealing itself. I don't feel like I want to take it out. It doesn't feel like a block. It feels like something that's just closed inside you, that soon, if it hasn't already, it's going to open up and it's going to reveal now and release, and probably need to be spoken. It reminds me, like, I've got this feeling that as you lift the box, it's like one of those old jewelry boxes that has the ballerina on it, that has that tune, and that's going to be coming out with your words. So it's probably a deep, deep vulnerability, a deep sadness, or a deep sensitivity that you have tucked away. And you tucked away for a long time, because I feel like there's a child feeling here, like when you were a child. So it feels something that you've carried and perhaps suppressed for quite some time. So this is getting ready to come out, and it will probably need to be spoken. There might be even a song or something that you hear that just triggers something that you can't explain why you have this reaction to it. And this is probably part of this sound coming out that will then become words. So that's what I'm feeling is loudest at the moment, Nicki. So let's just do a scan through your body, the rest of your body. So I'm being drawn to your waist here. Your waist is in alignment with your solar plexus chakra. So it's the sides of your solar plexus, which is very interesting, because usually it's focused on the front or the back, but we're being drawn to the side. So your solar plexus is your power center. This is your center for personal power, strength, and courage. When you're feeling powerless or anxious, this area retreats in, and we get butterflies in our tummy. And it's just our power center here. So the sides here is what I'm being drawn to. So what am I feeling here? It feels like something's been scraped away from the sides. It feels like you've scraped back. It looks like scraping back like old paint, scraping back like layers of fats. There's a scraping back feeling here on the sides, things that have been covering up your power and your confidence. So I feel like you've already been scraping back in this area. You'll probably be scraping around to the front and scraping around to the back probably in the next few months as well. So I see what you've been doing. You've been coming out of your shell more and more. You've been dropping your insecurities more and more than, say, how you felt before is the feeling. And then going down to your feet. So your feet, so this is that grounded energy that I connected with at the very beginning. And we've now got your feet feel like they're in like slippers of lead, or slippers that feel very heavy and are magnetizing you to the ground, just to help keep your feet nice and firmly planted on the ground, and keep your head nice and firmly attached to your body so you don't go off in fantasy land too much. So staying real and practical and grounded and really embodied in your physical body. So these kind of lead slippers, they're like magnets, and they're going to help you stay grounded. And I feel like we'll just keep those on for now. They'll remove and release when they need to. So this will just help keep you grounded. And everything else feels good. I think just as this energy releases, as it reveals itself, you could suppress it if you want to, which is probably what you will want to do, because I feel like it's so old that you've probably done that before. But I feel if you can find the courage to let yourself feel those vulnerabilities and verbalize perhaps with yourself or communicate with yourself what this is, so that you can let it be revealed and also let it be released. So it's not a sort of like a pain in your heart. That actually makes me feel quite emotional. So I feel like there's definitely an emotional tie here. So let's grab a card to see what this wants to add for you, Nicki. So the best card is this. It's from the second deck again, which is very popular today. We have Protected, card 74. So this is very interesting. It says, stand strong, safety, protect yourself, your loved ones, and your property. A protective force field has been activated. Step back, temporary, and a passing storm. So this is like the activation of a protective shield. So this is probably signifying that when this, part of the fear and part of keeping this closed, this little box suppressed in your heart, has perhaps been your fear of being hurt again, your fear of being protected, or even being safe and being able to survive what you've been through, but survive what you're going through now. So you can remind yourself that this is a different time and different place, and you're a different person now than you were, say, as a child. Much more vulnerable and sensitive, and it was more of a challenge potentially to survive because the power wasn't in your hands. So I feel like things are different now. So if you need to help this be revealed, is to help enforce your protective shield and keep reminding yourself that you're safe and protected and you will get through this, and using that as a strength to help you move through that fear to reveal what needs to be revealed. And it will happen at the right time. You can trust in that process and trust in yourself that you are strong enough to reveal what needs to be revealed for your healing and for your improvement and for the betterment of you and your life itself. So thanks, Nicki. I trust this resonates and supports you, and thank you for your support. Namaste. Okay, that means the lucky last person here in my pot is Jane. Jane Corlett. Jane, please take a nice big breath. It's so good to be connecting with you as well. So let's see which card you have got here. There's something fast moving coming in, like a fast car, and it feels fast moving. Something fast moving in your life, like a path or a door that's opened up, and it's moving through and it's shooting through very, very quickly. So it's like the garage doors open. It's like Knight Rider, you know, and Kit, the car, was in the back of that truck, and you open the doors and out goes Kit. That's what it feels like. Like there's the engine revving behind the doors, and the doors open and out goes the car and off it goes. That's what it feels like with you right now, with your energy, Jane. Let's grab a card to see what it wants to say. It's from second deck, and it says Priority, card 108. It says, as you change, your priorities change. Focus, organize, reprioritize, schedule, self-awareness, know when to proceed, time, and importance. So working out the importance or the priority of things is specifically about this card, and it has a really strong focus energy. So it's very strong focus, very strong in regards to what your priorities are, and really working that out through your self-confidence, really. and choosing what those priorities are and focusing on them. So this fast car has left the compartment, the garage, the area where it was locked in or closed off or tucked away, parked, whatever we'd say. I feel like the engine was revving for so long behind there. You were revving and eager to go, but there was something restrictive, something lacking, some doors that were closed that you couldn't get past, a restriction perhaps in your body that was stopping you from being able to move and being able to go at the speed that you wanted to move at. And I feel like something's clicked and something's changed, because this does feel like finally the doors have swung open, the race has started, and off you go. So there's this high speed feeling of putting your foot to the floor of the accelerator and off you go. So there's this high speed feeling of you making a lot of progress right now on your path. It feels like a red sports car is just going. So red tends to connect with physicality, with your physical body, your physical life, and this sense of go. So high speed, acceleration, that sort of feeling. Where are you going? Who knows? You're going so fast I can barely keep up with, like viewing you, because you just always seem to be off in the distance in my vision at this time. So I want to zoom up then. I want to fly up like an eagle and look more from a bird's eye view and see where you're going. So you know the track you're going. You know the path that you're taking. It feels clear. The track is already laid out. In fact, you probably spent time while the car was back in the garage for so long, revving its engine and getting to perfection mechanically. You were probably planning out your path and your track and where you wanted to go and what you wanted to do, because I see you weaving around things, weaving around corners and hills, and you know exactly where you're going. You're not even really stopping for anything. You've got the clear path going ahead. So this is a really good sign. So I'm not sure what it is that you're doing at the moment, but if you're thinking of starting something new, or you've been planning for something over the last few months or even few years, it feels like it's very close to, if it hasn't already, that the green light's going to turn on for you to go and get moving on this task or on this adventure that you're wanting to take. Now, let's just let the car do its thing. I want to bring my attention back to your body. So I see your body's in the driver's seat of this vehicle, and you're all gowned up, let's say, with your safety helmet on and your safety gear. You're like in a race of some sort. Maybe there's a deadline or something that you are working towards or that you have to meet, which might be why it has this race kind of feeling. So you've got protection on, you're all padded up, you've got your numbers on you, 64 is what I see on the front. It's very white, but also red. So red 64 on a very white, and 64 on both sides of your helmet here. And you've got like a guard here around your face as well. So you're well protected, and it feels like actually it's not protection. It's for focus. It's for determination. It's for focus and determination, so that you're not going to be distracted by other things. You're not going to be distracted to stop over here and get an ice cream or stop over here for a latte. You've got your eye on the prize and you're ready to go. So your body, I'm feeling quite present in this vehicle as I tune into your body, and you're hyped up. It feels hyped up and focused, ready to go. You're in tip-top shape, prime shape, especially mentally, to do this. And you've worked out what to do. So you're well organized with this as well. So again, let's get back further into your body. Further into your body, I'm being drawn to your arms ability to create and build and make and take control, take the lead, that kind of thing. I feel little energy down in your legs, so it tells me that there's quite this mental focus and maybe a little bit of depletion in your body as far as energy goes, which is not really that big of a deal, but I just want to send some energy down there from this heightened upper energy space, which tends to be the mind, and just sending some energy, just simply energy down into your legs, down to your feet. So like your legs are empty cylinders, and just filling them up with energy. So the energy feels like very red-brown, like a red-brown dirt sort of energy. So really, really earthy, and just filling you up down here just to keep you grounded and keep you focused and keep you attentive to your physical needs. because it sort of feels like with what I'm feeling, you could go sort of like 3 days straight without needing to sleep or eat. But tending to your physical needs, just pacing yourself a little bit might be helpful so you don't wreck yourself after a few days. So that's coming in. So that's nice and grounding for you. And then that just sort of locks into place down in the lower part of your body. And there, as that happens, there's just this sense of settling a bit further back into the seat instead of being on edge and being sort of hyped up and focused. So just settling back just a little bit and just maybe taking your foot off the accelerator just ever so much, just so that you can go the distance rather than having too short of a burst that then wears you out very quickly. So it feels exciting, that's for sure, Jane. And hopefully this makes sense to you. Thank you very much. Let's grab a card to finish off. So the best card to add at this point, as we tie this up for you, Jane, is this. It's also from the second deck. And we have card 104, Conquering Fear. It's in the action category, which is not surprising. It says, don't allow your insecurities to stop you from proceeding. Look at those insecurities, release them, and then proceed. Summon your courage and overcome. So don't let insecurities stop you, or even fear stop you from proceeding. I mean, obviously be sensible. You don't want to be driving yourself off a cliff or anything like that. But just keep things in check. Keep checking on in with things as you go. Keep your intuition, keep your third eye chakra nice and open and your intuition nice and strong so that you're being guided along the way. I feel a lot of night activity. So there's a lot of activity during the night, which is probably a heightened time of acceleration for you and progress with things that you're making. Physically, perhaps, but especially mentally. And whatever it is, whatever goal it is that you're setting yourself, I feel the energy just feels very favorable for that, Jane. So thank you very much. Thank you, Jane. Thanks for your support, and I trust this supports you. And thank you, everyone, for connecting today. I'll be back again tomorrow for our Healing List event for patrons. That's in about 22 hours from now. So maybe I'll see you then. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic rest of your day. Namaste.